You're talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, woo, wheeling dealing, limousine riding, jet flying, son of a gun, and I'm having a hard time holding these alligators down. Woo!
You are watching the leaders in full immersion gaming, and this is the pregame show only on the NBL Network.
Welcome once again, everyone, to another edition of the NBL Live pregame show, and that's brought to you each and every week by our graphics sponsor, Web3KS.com. They do the overlay here on NBL Live, a ton of other graphics for us across the network, and they're super affordable. So if you or anyone you know needs graphics done for an affordable price, head over to Web3KS.com, the leaders in affordable graphic design. Thanks for joining us, folks. I'm OSU. I'm hanging out with my man, Sonny Weaver, and boy, do we have a treat for you tonight. It is championship weekend here on NBL Live. We got a double header, starting out with the AFC Championship game between the Kansas City Chiefs and the Pittsburgh Steelers. Then at 8:30 Eastern Time, right after this one, we'll have the NFC Championship game between the Detroit Lions and the Dallas Cowboys. Sonny, it's championship weekends, 2 games. Only 2 of these teams will get to go on and face off in the Super Bowl for season 25.
And we got 2 really good matchups coming into this week. You talked about the one obviously we're going to see coming up. A really good Kansas City Chiefs takes on an explosive offense from the Pittsburgh Steelers. I will be interested to see how that explosive offense from the Steelers takes on Ramsey in the secondary in Kansas City, which is one of the best in NBL.
And now before we get to that, we're going to continue our countdown, the NBL top 25 players of the 2017 cycle. 10 will be revealed tonight, 5 in this game, 5 in the pregame for the NFC Championship game. Sonny, we've already revealed 10 of them, and we're getting into the top 15, doing 15 through 11, and by the end of the night, we'll be ready to reveal that top 5 of the Super Bowl, which will be Saturday night.
And, you know, you've already seen two Cincinnati Bengals on there. I'm just
settle
curious,
down over there.
Can we get another one?
I don't know about that. Let's get right to the video. The NBL top 25 players of the 2017 Madden cycle. We're going to be starting with number 15 to kick off here on the AFC Championship game. And at number 15, it's going to be one of the players you're seeing tonight, Artie Burns, cornerback for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And this guy has been a stud for the Steelers pass defense. 34 interceptions. He has 2 NBL Super Bowl rings. Sonny, the interesting thing about Burns, this Pittsburgh Steelers passing attack has struggled, especially this year. They're the worst passing defense in the NBL, but one constant has been Artie Burns. He is one guy that teams still look out for on the field.
Artie Burns, one of the lone bright spots on an otherwise kind of porous Pittsburgh Steelers secondary. Burns has locked down one side of that field for going on 5-6 seasons now. He came in, started as a rookie. He took some lumps early on, but he has developed into one of the best cornerbacks in NBL.
Yeah, that Pittsburgh Steelers secondary was a force to be reckoned with, especially during their 2 NBL Super Bowl reigns. This year, it has been a struggle for the pass defense, but Artie Burns still one of the premier cornerbacks in the NBL, and he comes in at number 15 on the countdown. Let's go to number 14, and we're going to head to the Houston Texans, Jadeveon Clowney. What a player this is, the former South Carolina Gamecock. Coming in at number 14 for the Houston Texans. Man, that defensive line, J.J. Watt and Jadeveon Clowney. Clowney, 45 sacks this cycle with the Houston Texans. And it's got to help a guy like Clowney playing with J.J. Watt. You can't really double team either one of them because the other one's going to come through and make a play on the quarterback. Clowney, very talented.
Like you said, Clowney playing across from J.J. Watt definitely benefited from that early in his career. But later on in his career, we saw J.J. Watt depart for the New York Giants. But even still, Clowney shines. He was getting all of the best matchups from the halfbacks were chip blocking him. Didn't matter. He still got to the quarterback. He's still someone to be reckoned with here in NBL.
Yeah, 45 sacks on the defensive line. And it's so tough, especially in the NBL. So many very good offensive lines, especially in that AFC NFC South, the Houston Texans having to compete with some of the best offensive line, especially look over at the Jacksonville Jaguars. We already saw them in the playoffs, and they have back-to-back MVPs at the running back position. But Clowney comes in at number 14, number 13. Let's go right back to the Pittsburgh Steelers, Sonny, and a player you're going to see tonight, Martavis Bryant. And this guy, that pass defense has struggled for the Pittsburgh Steelers, but the pass offense has not. Martavis Bryant, 7,000 yards this cycle, 70 touchdowns, and he's got some jewelry, 2 Super Bowl rings as well. It helps for Martavis Bryant. He plays with Caleb Hayden, but the big thing about the Pittsburgh Steelers, Sonny, is Hayden has been injured for a lot of this cycle, and so they've relied on Martavis Bryant as the leader of this offense, and he is not disappointed.
You know, I'm actually a little disappointed for Martavis Bryant. I'm a division foe. I see him twice a year, and I can tell you what, if there's 12 teams, 12 players better in NBL, I would be shocked. I'm kind of skeptical of the list from here. I think Martavis Bryant, arguably the best deep threat wide receiver in NBL, and someone who I think is going to help carry the Pittsburgh Steelers tonight.
Yeah, it will be very interesting to look back at this list once we've seen the entire 25 revealed. Again, we are just finding these out as you are. I haven't even watched these videos before they've been put on the show. So coming in at number 12, I got excited for you, Sonny. I saw orange. It's not. It's the Denver Broncos. It's Brandon Marshall. This guy at linebacker, boy, he is a threat in the pass defense game. And something that we didn't really know about Brandon Marshall, he set the season 22 interception record with 14 interceptions at linebacker. This is a guy who not only hits hard, we know how good he is, especially stopping the run in that AFC West, but he did such a great job in the pass game, both in man and zone coverage, getting in the way of these passing lanes and pulling down an NBL record number of interceptions.
Brandon Marshall, I've got a special place in my heart for him, OSU. I'm not sure if you're aware of this, but he did end up a Cincinnati Bengal, one of the emotional leaders of our teams, but that's not where he really kind of cut his teeth. That was out in Denver. He was one of the most feared middle linebackers in NBL. You did not want to throw across the middle of the field for fear that Brandon Marshall was going to take one to the house. If I look back at NBL in this cycle, I'm telling you, this guy is one of the best linebackers we've seen.
Yeah, Brandon Marshall, very talented, tough guy to pass against. And the last one we're going to reveal is number 11. Let's go back to the AFC North. Baltimore Raven coming in at number 11. It's Dillard Lloyd, wide receiver for the Baltimore Ravens. This Ravens team really relied on this passing attack, especially in the last couple of seasons. He was a third-round pick for the team, 4,400 receiving yards, 222 receptions, and 44 touchdowns. And, Sonny, this may be a case of Dillard Lloyd. He may not have the best stats of anybody in the NBL, but there's no doubt of how valuable he was to this Baltimore Ravens team.
He was a valuable member of the Baltimore Ravens team. I wonder if maybe the fact he was a third-round pick kind of increases the value or the perception of his value towards that team. Obviously, it was a team that struggled at times on offense. There were many times where Dillard Lloyd was, in fact, the entire offense. When you look at the AFC North, there have been some really good receivers, Martavis Bryant, Dillard Lloyd, and there may even be one more here before the night's through.
Yeah, what a job by Dillard Lloyd this season. And that's going to be the end of what we're revealing in this game, folks. Again, that was numbers 15 through 11. And we'll be revealing another 5 tonight. Again, 8:30 Eastern time is when we'll kick off that NFC Championship game. We'll reveal number 10 through number 6. And then that final 5 will be revealed during the pregame show of the Super Bowl for Season 25. So you don't want to miss it. Again, hit that subscribe button so you know when we are live. You don't want to miss any of the great content coming out in the next couple of days, because then Sunday night we got that team selection show, and that's always a fun one to look out for. If you missed our game yesterday, you missed a doozy of a game. The Dallas Cowboys, what a win they had over the defending Super Bowl champion Washington Redskins, 31-17. Austin Hooper, look at those stats. 6 catches, 88 yards. Maybe doesn't jump off the screen, but boy, he came up with about 3 huge catches in contact down the field that kept drives alive for the Dallas Cowboys. And the Cowboys knock off the defending Super Bowl champions and get a chance to play against the juggernaut Detroit Lions today.
And Austin Hooper, he comes up big in that game. He was the check down. He was the safety blanket there for the quarterback, and he came up big quite a few times. Kind of a shocking game overall. The Dallas Cowboys forced a lot of turnovers from a normally very cautious Washington Redskins offense. I felt like the ball control didn't work in their favor. The Dallas Cowboys got Zeke running early, and it was all over there by late in the third quarter.
And now we get to our game today. The first part of our doubleheader is the AFC Championship game between the Kansas City Chiefs and the Pittsburgh Steelers. Before we get to your predictions, Sonny, these are two teams that I almost don't think it's a surprise either of these are here. If you asked me at the beginning of the season who would be the favorites to get to the AFC Championship game, these are two teams that I think would be at the top of the list. Kansas City, they were in the Super Bowl last year. The Pittsburgh Steelers, how dominant they have been in years past, how good they still are. These are two teams that I think were destined to come together for the AFC Championship game.
Yeah, and it wasn't by easy means. You had the Pittsburgh Steelers that really needed a last-second field goal to get over the Oakland Raiders, and then the Chiefs, who were down late against the Cincinnati Bengals, come back to win that one. So you've got two battle-tested teams. You've got two teams that have experience playing in the big game. Both these guys have been here before. Both these guys know how to win on the big stage. And right now, I talked about it earlier, that matchup between the offense of the Pittsburgh Steelers and that secondary of the Kansas City Chiefs is going to be the thing to watch tonight.
All right, we are about ready to send it out to Pittsburgh to find out who's going to represent the AFC in the Super Bowl. But, Sonny, I got to get your prediction first. Who do you like in this game? Is Kansas City going to get to back-to-back Super Bowls and maybe try to get a little redemption for losing last year in the big game, or the Pittsburgh Steelers? What a dynasty they have been in this cycle of Madden 17. Are they going to get a chance to get their third Super Bowl title in this cycle?
I think the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to finish with the bookend, and the first step to getting that bookend Super Bowl title is going to be to go through these Kansas City Chiefs. I think Martavis Bryant gets open early. He figures out this secondary that I'm not even going to sugarcoat it. They're one of the top secondaries, but I think he figures it out. Dak Prescott puts up a big game. If Kansas City wants to stay in this game, they're going to have to get to Prescott. I don't think that happens. Give me the Pittsburgh Steelers 21-14 over the Kansas City Chiefs.
Sonny Weaver with some great pronunciation on that word title. Really enunciating well tonight. It's going to be a great game, folks, and it's the first half of our doubleheader. Let's get to it. Coming up next, it's the AFC Championship game. Two teams looking to get to the Super Bowl. It's the Kansas City Chiefs and the Pittsburgh Steelers, and it's coming up right now here on MBL Live.
My name is Rex Dixon.
Jake Stein.
Clint from EA Sports.
You're watching MBL.
You're watching the MBL Network. And you're watching the MBLN Network.
Empty backfield for Atkins. He's going to be dropping back to pass here on fourth down. He's looking deep over the middle. He has a man. It's Brandon Cooks, who catches it, makes a man miss.
Oh, that's
Woodard is dropping back. He's got to open over the middle.
Wow.
That big playmaker
Look at
ability as
him
he
go.
finds him again.
Into the end zone. Another touchdown. Championship week in the NBL starts right now with the AFC title game between the Kansas City Chiefs, regular season 11-5, champions of the AFC West, versus the champions of the AFC North. It's the Pittsburgh Steelers coming in 12-4 in the regular season. Thanks for hanging out with us, folks. Hope you're having a great night. We sure are here on NBL Live. It's championship week. We are so excited to be here. I'm OSU. I'm hanging out with my man, Sonny Weaver. Let's send it down to the third member of our crew, Z-Star, our sideline reporter. Star, you've been down on the sidelines. You've talked to both teams. They come out of the locker room. Pittsburgh starting off with the ball first. What is the game plan for the Pittsburgh Steelers? Hoping to get a win. Excuse me, I'm throwing down to you, but Caleb Hayden, shades of week 17. He's going to house the opening kickoff. Sonny Weaver, I'm going to throw it to you. Are you having any PTSD seeing this happen to the Kansas City Chiefs? The opening kickoff taken back for a touchdown.
My AFC North title flashed before my eyes. So close yet so far. Pittsburgh doing it again, twice in 3 weeks. taking the opening kickoff to the house. And if you're Kansas City, you cannot let this happen. Already a dynamic offense, and they haven't even gotten on the field yet.
Star, what is the sideline like right now for the Pittsburgh Steelers, a team that has been here before, but just managed to take the opening kick back to the house?
The arena is super loud here. These guys are really jacked up. I mean, you can't really start a game better than that, can you?
No, that is about the perfect start if you're the Pittsburgh Steelers. And the Kansas City Chiefs, about as disastrous of a start as you could get. 13 seconds into the game, they're down 7-0. And the Chiefs, it's going to be the first offense we've seen. It's going to be Trey McIntyre and the Kansas City Chiefs. Lawrence Ganther at the top of the I formation. 2 wide receivers to the left side. It's going to be a toss to Ganther over the right side. He gets a little room over there using that breakaway speed. Getting away from Ryan Shazier. He's going to go out of bounds at the 30-yard line. It's going to bring up 2nd and 5.
Shazier, one of the better tackling middle linebackers in NBL, takes a bad angle there. Ganther gets around the edge, picks up 5 on what should have been a big loss there for Kansas City.
2nd and 5 now for the Kansas City Chiefs. Ball on the 30-yard line. We can see Trey McIntyre. This passing attack not been very good for the Kansas City Chiefs. 25th in the NBL. But they're the number 10 offense in terms of scoring. A lot of that has to do with this man, Lawrence Ganther, fighting forward for a first down at the 37-yard line. They may have struggled to move the ball through the air, Sonny, but rushing the ball, Lawrence Ganther leading the number 2 rushing attack in the NBL.
Good vision there by Ganther. He starts going to his left. He sees nothing there. He cuts back to the right, picks up the 5 yards he needs.
7-0 Pittsburgh on top after taking back the opening kickoff. And now we get to see the Kansas City Chiefs try to answer the Pittsburgh Steelers. 1st and 10. Ganther 2 rushes. Got the first down for the Chiefs. McIntyre's going to be throwing the ball down the middle of the field and somehow manages to complete that one right down the seam. It looked like that one was going to be batted away, but Griebel coming up with a catch, 25 yards, and they've moved into enemy territory at the 39-yard line.
And working against Hall of Famer Artie Burns, he's out there in coverage. He's in a good position. He tries to stick his hand up there to bat it down, but he misses the ball. Good throw there by Trey McIntyre. 1st
and 10 for the Kansas City Chiefs. Brisby coming in motion from the right side to the left. Ganther in the backfield. 2 wide receivers. It's going to be a handoff to Lawrence Ganther. Cuts it back to the right side, and he has a first down to the 28-yard line. 11 yards for Lawrence Ganther. And this guy took over for TJ Yeldon last season, and the Kansas City Chiefs have not looked back. What a season Lawrence Ganther has had.
And we talked about it earlier. It's his vision. He sees when a hole closes. He sees the cutback lane. He finds that lane, and he turns what should be a short yardage gain into a big one.
1st and 10 now for the Kansas City Chiefs. 3 wide receivers to the right, 1 to the left for Trey McIntyre. Lawrence Ganther in the backfield. Ball on the 28-yard line. They run a little end around, and he's got a little room after getting past one guy. He's going to go out of bounds at the 22-yard line. Crowell with the run on the end around. He's going to get 6 yards out of that play. Kansas City breaking out all the tricks trying to tie up this game. They get 6 out of that one.
And that linebacker, your job is backside contain. You whiff on that, and there's no one to help you out. You got to be better disciplined than that.
2nd and 4 for the Kansas City Chiefs. 3 wide receivers, 2 over to the left, 1 to the right. Lawrence Ganther in the backfield. Handoff to Ganther right up the middle. He's going to get 2 out of that one up to the 20-yard line. Going to cut it down to a 3rd and 2. And the Kansas City Chiefs, how important is it for them on this drive, Sonny Weaver, to get a touchdown?
Well, response is big here. What you can't do is turn it over. It's early in this game. Points on the board are big no matter what. But what I look for Kansas City to do here is I expect them to run the ball. I think they give a lot of trust to Ganther. I'm not sure they're sold Trey McIntyre can handle the ball down here in the red zone. So look for a run here from Ganther.
3rd and 2. I formation. And Lawrence Ganther not in the game. Durant in on 3rd down. 2 wide receivers out there. It's going to be handoff to Durant right up the middle. And he gets nothing. And Sonny, we saw this in the game yesterday. We saw Keith Marshall coming out on 3rd down plays. They're bringing in 3rd down backs. And these other backs have not been able to get the first down. And we see shades of it here. You'd think Lawrence Ganther should have gotten the carry on 3rd and 2. Instead, they bring in Durant. And Durant can't get anything going.
Of course he should have gotten the carry. Sometimes these coaches, they get a little too cute. They forget the horse they rode here to the AFC title game, and then they do something like that, and that may come back to bite them.
They do get a field goal out of the drive nonetheless. Cut it back to 7-3. And, hey, positive signs for the Kansas City Chiefs. They didn't let Pittsburgh score on that kickoff.
And that's a positive, and at this point, you got to look for all the positives you can get.
You are welcome, Kansas City Chiefs fans out there. That's called the silver lining. 7-3, Pittsburgh on top early after taking the opening kickoff back. Caleb Hayden. Boy, how happy must the Pittsburgh Steelers be to see that wide receiver healthy and on the field. and he was able to take that opening kickoff 100 yards to the house, and Kansas City drove right back down, got a field goal out of it, but a little disappointing as they were down around the 28-yard line. Now the Pittsburgh Steelers offense, well, they get to actually touch the field on this drive, and Dak Prescott still at the helm here. 4 wide receivers, 3 to the left, 1 to the right. Former league MVP Leylon Alston in the backfield with Prescott. 1st and 10, it's going to be Prescott throwing the ball. Rush coming right off the middle, and he gets it out to the flat. And they're going to get no gain on that one down to the 29-yard line. It's going to bring up a 2nd and 10, and the Kansas City Chiefs defensive line, it's going to be a handful for the Pittsburgh Steelers this week.
Yeah, and really what it is, it's about, covering for your secondary. You've got one of the best secondaries back there. If you just get a little bit of pressure, you can get some sacks here on the plays. 2nd
and 10. Quick pass over the middle. It is complete. And who else would come up with that one, Sonny? It is I feel like you had a little complaint about Martavis Bryant being so low in the countdown. He gets a catch here. Do you agree with Martavis Bryant being, number 14 on our list?
Well, obviously not. The guy's, I would argue, the best wide receiver in NBL for the cycle. I will be curious to see who's in the top 10. I think you may see a line or two up there, which it's hard to argue with that. But Martavis Bryant, one of the best to ever suit it up this cycle.
3rd and inches, 5 wide receivers for Prescott, dropping back to pass, toss it underneath. It is complete, and it's a 1st down at the 40-yard line. Dak Prescott so good in these short yardage situations. He gets it to Thomas for a 1-yard gain, and once again, the Kansas City defense had an opportunity to get a stop there, but not really playing underneath, and Dak Prescott was really just able to toss it to the drag route and get the 6 inches that they needed. Now it's a 1st and 10 for Prescott in the offense. 3 wide receivers out there. Prescott's going to be throwing it once again. You're going to be seeing this a lot. Gets it over to the right side. It's Martavis Bryant. I think he saw the pregame show and wants to prove that he's better than number 14. Another catch for Bryant, another 1st down for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
And in talking with the Pittsburgh Steelers coaching staff this week, it was apparent they understood Kansas City likes to run a lot of man coverages on 1st down. They're trying to take advantage with that with some crossing and some out routes.
1st and 10, it's going to be the first carry for the former league MVP, Leylon Alston, up to the 38-yard line. And, Sonny, this is a team that has always lived and died by the passing attack, but with Leylon Alston coming in, they've really flourished being the number 5 rushing team. And this is a team that had Le'Veon Bell for many seasons.
Le'Veon Bell, but don't forget Neblett, who is now in Jacksonville, who just broke the rushing record. So they've had good backs in Pittsburgh, but I think Alston's a little better fit for what Pittsburgh's trying to do.
2nd and 4, 3 wide receivers out there for Prescott, dropping back to pass, looking, he tossed it over to the left side, a dangerous throw from Dak Prescott, something we haven't seen a whole lot from the very talented young quarterback. Martavis Bryant well covered over there. He had the drag route running free underneath. He tried to get it to Bryant. It's an incomplete pass. Going to bring up a 3rd and 4.
Yeah, that was a bad read there by Prescott. I believe that was Dyer running underneath, and it was wide open. He should have hit him.
And now 4 wide receivers for Prescott. 3rd and 4, they're going to run the ball with Leylon Alston. He had the Kansas City Chiefs completely fooled on that one. 11 yards on that rush and a 1st down. And what's a great play calling by the Pittsburgh Steelers running it on 3rd and 4.
This is the hallmark of the Pittsburgh Steelers. They like to run on 3rd and medium. Don't be scared to try to blitz them on 3rd.
1st and 10, 4 wide receivers once again. 3 to the left, 1 to the right for Dak Prescott. Leylon Alston in the backfield. 1st and 10, Prescott dropping back to pass. He's rolling. He's looking down the middle of the field. Has a man wide open, and it's a touchdown for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Michael Dyer, what a player he has been. On the opposite side of Martavis Bryant, they move him around. They put him in the slot a lot, and Dyer able to catch that one right down the seam, and Pittsburgh extends their lead 14-3.
And good job by Dak Prescott there. He moved in the pocket. He had some pressure on the outside. He stepped up. He slid to his left. He stalled Dyer. He stood in the pocket, made the throw, and it was a nice read, nice throw. Good drive by the Pittsburgh Steelers.
And the Kansas City Chiefs are going to have to get the offense rolling. They can't trade too many touchdowns for field goals. Let's send it down to our sideline reporter, Z-Star. Star, what was the mood on the sidelines with the Kansas City Chiefs coming up only getting a field goal off that last drive?
They're still optimistic. It's only the 1st quarter. They can still commit to the run, play their style of football, and try and keep Dak off the field and ultimately get back into this game.
1st and 10 for the Kansas City Chiefs. Trey McIntyre is going to be dropping back to pass here on 1st down. Rush is coming. He gets up. It's intercepted. And nobody is going to catch him. Disaster for the Kansas City Chiefs. McIntyre throws the pick 6. And the Pittsburgh Steelers with this extra point. As it is down, the kick is up, and it is good. It is 21-3. Sonny, you've played against these Pittsburgh Steelers, being in their division. How hard is it to come back against an offense as powerful as the Pittsburgh Steelers?
And it's just that. When you're giving up touchdowns in special teams, you're giving them up on offense. You came into the game worrying about the Pittsburgh offense, and they've only scored 7 of the 21 points up to now. That's a big deal because they've not even gotten rolling yet, and you've given up an extra 14 points that you probably shouldn't have.
All 3 phases of the game covered. Pittsburgh has an offensive, a defensive, and a special teams touchdown. They're up 21-3 early as Lawrence Ganther gets his carry over the left side. He's got a nice hole over there. Get up to the 41-yard line. 16 yards on that play, but boy, the Pittsburgh Steelers have jumped out early 21-3. Yeah, and Sonny, this is the worst, not one of the worst passing defense in the NBL, and they get points off an interception.
Yeah, they're not kind of foreign to turning the ball over, but they give up a lot of yards.
Handoff right up the middle for Lawrence Ganther. He's going to get up to the 45-yard line. As we're nearing the end of the first quarter, if you're a Kansas City Chief fan, you can't be happy. Down 21-3. And down 21-3 on the road, you're going to have to come back against the #1 offense in the NBL. A tall task at hand for the young Trey McIntyre. 2nd and 7, play action pass. McIntyre rolling out to the left, passes back out to the right to Lawrence Ganther, and Ganther drops it. And boy, Sonny, as we get to the end of the first quarter, Pittsburgh up 21-3. I think everybody would say that the Pittsburgh Steelers were the favorite in the game, but I don't think anybody saw it going this poorly for the Kansas City Chiefs early.
No, but the Chiefs are slow starters historically. They were down 14 in the divisional round. They come back to win that game. Don't count the Chiefs out just yet.
3rd and 7. They need a conversion here. McIntyre in the shotgun, dropping back to pass. Corner blitz coming. He tossed it underneath, and I don't know. I honestly have no idea who he was throwing it to there. It looked like he was trying to pass it to his left guard. Incomplete pass. Kansas City's going to have to punt it here. And you give the ball back to the Pittsburgh Steelers offense, who, as Sonny mentioned astutely, only has 7 of the points right now. Pittsburgh, kickoff return for a touchdown and an interception return for the touchdown. The Pittsburgh offense hasn't even gotten rolling yet. How bad is it right now for the Kansas City Chiefs?
Things aren't going good right now, but what you can't do is get crazy. You don't want to start sending any crazy blitzes at the Steelers because they will eat you up. You got to wait for them to make a mistake, and you got to get pressure from your down linemen. Sending extra blitzers will get you beat.
First down, it's going to be handoff to Leylon Alston. He's going to get nothing going there. A loss of 2 on the play. Nice job by the Kansas City defense holding Leylon Alston. While we have a moment, we want to thank everybody for tuning in to MBL Live. We got a double header tonight. It's the AFC Championship followed by the NFC Championship, so stick with us, folks. I'm Oshu. I'm hanging out with my man, Sonny. We got a great night of football coming up for you. 2nd and 12, shotgun formation for the Steelers. Prescott going to be dropping back to pass. Nice block on the left side. He looks deep over the middle. Oh, and Martavis Bryant took a big hit. Couldn't hang on to that ball. You'd say that that's the fault of Dak Prescott, but Martavis Bryant usually comes up with those catches. That hit was just a little too tough for him to hold on to it.
Yeah, it's one of those things where Bryant normally comes down with those. He's a sure-handed receiver, but that was a big hit delivered by the safety there. And surprise, Bryant came away with that unscathed.
3rd and 12, 5 wide receivers for Dak Prescott and the Steelers. 3 over to the right, 2 over to the left. Prescott dropping back to pass here on 3rd and 12, steps up in the pocket, looks over to the left side, and what a great pitch and catch. And Martavis Bryant, Sonny, I'm starting to really think he watched the pregame show. I think he's a little mad that he was down there at 15 or 14. Another great catch for Bryant.
Yeah, and that was interesting because that was right in front of Jalen Ramsey out there. So that was a big reception against a good cornerback.
Momentum surely in the side of the Pittsburgh Steelers right now. 1st and 10, Prescott under center. Dropping back to pass. Blitz coming. He gets it up, and he finds Martavis Bryant, who makes a man miss. Oh, no, I don't think anybody's catching Bryant. Another touchdown for the Pittsburgh Steelers. They go up 27-3. Welcome to the AFC Championship game. Martavis Bryant, as the Pittsburgh Steelers, the kick is up, and it is good, and the route is on, folks. 28-3, and Martavis Bryant. Wow, what a run for the talented, and I think I agree with you, Sonny, better than number 14 player in the NBL.
Yeah, Martavis Bryant showing why he is a top 10 player in NBL, not to be confused with a teens player from the NBL.
28-3, Pittsburgh on top. Let's send it down to Star, the Kansas City Chiefs. Really disastrous in all phases of the game. What's the message being sent to the offense as they go out trying to dig themselves out of this hole?
They need to make smart throws. They need to move the ball downfield, and what they need to do is try and get this 2-for-1 Aaron Rodgers special that we call, because they get the ball back at the second half, the start of the second half.
Yeah, 28-3 Pittsburgh on top. Play action pass. McIntyre rolling out to the left side, and he finds the deep comeback route on the sideline. It is complete down to the 38-yard line, and McIntyre, that is only his second completion on the day, and he's completed one to the other teams. Devontae Adams with the catch. 1st and 10 now for the Kansas City Chiefs, who are obviously working quickly, trying to dig themselves out of a big hole, and they're going to need their defense to come up big as we head into the second half. Play action pass. McIntyre looking deep down the field, and that one well covered the entire way. And Sonny, are we starting to see the Trey McIntyre of old, forcing it downfield, trying to dig themselves out of a hole?
Yeah, it looks like he's trying to force it there. That should have been another interception there by the same guy who had the pick six just a little while ago.
2nd and 10, McIntyre dropping back to pass, looks over the middle of the field, and he throws his second interception. Ryan Shazier with the pick. Oh, boy, the wheels on the bus have come off of the Kansas City Chiefs. The second interception for Trey McIntyre. And, Sonny, as we head into Madden 18, I have a feeling we might be getting a reinvention of hashtag TM3INT.
Yeah, definitely. TM3INT is back and better than ever. Ryan Shazier probably would have taken that back for 6 if he got a little more help there from his defensive lineman.
Prescott, that looked like almost a heat check to Martavis Bryant, seeing if he can come up with another big catch. It's an incomplete pass. Bryant looking for a flag, but the Pittsburgh Steelers 28-3. They're up big, and we are only 2 minutes into the second quarter, folks. This Pittsburgh Steelers team has been on fire. The Kansas City Chiefs has not helped them with 2 turnovers, a kickoff return for a touchdown, and one of those turnovers was a pick 6 as Alston trying to get something over the right side, loses a yard on the play. It's going to bring up a 3rd and 11, and Sonny, at this rate, we're going to have to find something to talk about in the second half.
Well, I'm going to steal one of Bomber's sayings, maybe with a little change. The wheels on the bus, if you're Kansas City, have hit the ground. They have completely fallen off, and Pittsburgh right now is just rolling along.
Prescott in the pocket. He finds, wow, nice pass in between 3 defenders. Prescott whips it in there to Caleb Hayden. It's a 1st down for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And, Sonny, that's something that's underrated, something that might not be talked about a whole lot of the Pittsburgh Steelers. They are so good, even if you get them into 3rd and 10-plus yards. They're so good at converting those 3rd down situations.
So good, and that comes back to an offensive line that they've spent many seasons building and developing, taking guys late rounds, undrafted free agents, really developing them into a really solid offensive line.
3 wide receivers for Dak Prescott, dropping back to pass here on 1st and 10. He gets hit as he throws, and he manages to get it off. Not able to hold on to that one is the tight end, but it's going to be an incomplete pass, bringing up a 2nd and 10. And a nice job by Dak Prescott staying in the pocket and managing to deliver a strike, not fumble that ball. 2nd and 10. Prescott, 3 wide receivers once again. He's going to hand off to Laylon Alston right up the middle. Makes a couple men miss. This is usually a sure tackling Kansas City Chiefs defense, but this year, Sonny, they're the number 28th rushing defense. What's going on in Kansas City, usually known for the defensive line play?
Well, they've gotten porous, and they really have a good secondary, and I wonder if it's not teams deciding they're better off trying to run the ball against them than throw against some of those kind of dangerous secondary players.
3rd and 3 for the Steelers. 2 tight ends, 2 wide receivers for Dak Prescott under center. Laylon Alston in the backfield. He's going to be passing it here on 3rd and 3. And he just dumps this underneath to Laylon Alston. Wide open. And another 1st down for the Pittsburgh Steelers, who will look unstoppable in this game. Sonny, I'm going to give you a chance here. Sonny, do you want to change your pick and go to the Kansas City Chiefs?
I'm good, but can I double the amount of points? Can I move the points I was going to give to the Chiefs over to the Steelers?
I'll allow it. 28-3, Pittsburgh on top and on the doorstep. Man coming in motion. They're going to hand it off to Martavis Bryant. Oh, man, and another touchdown for the Steelers. And Martavis Bryant finds the end zone, trying to prove something here on NBL Live. Pittsburgh up 34-3. And the extra point is tacked on to make it 35-3 with 2:27 to go in the second quarter. The route is on here in Pittsburgh. Sonny, I don't know if the fat lady's singing, but she is definitely about ready to come on stage, and we haven't even hit the second half.
Yeah, I think she may have already left the building at this one.
She already sang? I missed the concert.
Yeah, she just said it wasn't even worth it. Martavis Bryant finding different ways to score. You see him here running the ball, scoring the touchdown. You had the passing attack earlier in the game, and really he's showing you he can work inside, he can work outside, he can run the ball. He's really a multifaceted player and one of the best in NBL.
Shotgun formation for the Kansas City Chiefs. Trey McIntyre is going to take the snap, dropping back to pass here on 1st and 10. He tosses it underneath. It is complete. And I think they're going to have the first down. Lawrence Ganther with the catch there up at the 35-yard line. They do have the first down, and the hurry-up offense is going. They need to make up a 31-point deficit. They do have a lot of time, but this Pittsburgh Steelers offense is tough to stop, and Kansas City has yet to do it. They're setting up a screen to Ganther, who has a couple yards on that one. He'll get about 7 out of that one. Ganther, a big part of the passing offense early as we've hit the 2-minute warning. Sonny, at what point, if you're the Pittsburgh Steelers, do you ponder starting to bench some of your key players?
I'm not sure if that's the direction I go at this point, but I do need to check you on something. You said a 31-point deficit. It is a 32-point deficit.
Sonny Weaver, the human calculator doing simple arithmetic for me, is as you can tell, I'm drinking the Monster. We got a long night ahead of us, and that sort of, I'd like to apologize to everybody out there. That sort of math is not something we expect here on NBL Live. That is my fault, and I will be better as we go forward. 35-3, a 32-point deficit for the Kansas City Chiefs, looking to make that up as we're down at a minute 40 to go. Trey McIntyre dropping back to pass. He's going to toss it underneath once again to Lawrence Ganther. Has a little room on the right side, and wow, takes a hit late. I'm pretty sure, we'll see the stats come up. Lawrence Ganther has 3 of the 5 catches for the Kansas City Chiefs offense. You got to think if you're the Pittsburgh Steelers, maybe you key in on that. I don't know, you're up so much early. What sort of defensive keying are you doing at this point?
Normally you're playing back off the ball. I think that's why all the underneath routes are open right now.
1st and 10, McIntyre in the shotgun, a minute 34 to go. He's been dropping back to pass. 3-man rush for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and he almost gets their deep shot for McIntyre, and a 3rd interception on the day for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Artie Burns, he came in at number, I believe, 12 on the top 25 players of the cycle, and Artie Burns shows up right now and gets the 3rd interception. Sonny, TM3INT is alive and well as Alston takes this one up the middle and goes for 14 yards.
Yeah, and so Artie Burns kind of redeems himself. He had a bad play earlier in the game where he was playing man coverage, missed when he went for the ball. He doesn't miss there. And Alston getting running here. One thing to watch, Alston is prone to fumbling the ball, so look for the big hit.
Alston with another run there, 10 yards on that one. I think he's going to be down just short of the line to gain. Going to bring up a 2nd and inches, 35-3, folks. And yes, this is the AFC Championship game. These are 2 of the top teams in the NBL. The Pittsburgh Steelers just dropping the hammer here at home, looking to get to another Super Bowl and get their 3rd Super Bowl title of the cycle. 2nd and inches is going to be Prescott dropping back to pass. Wow, and that was a dangerous throw. One of the few we've seen from Dak Prescott. The Kansas City Chiefs, this is how off they are right now. That's usually a sure interception, but instead just gets batted to the ground.
Yeah, surprising they went a level too deep there. The inside crosser was actually open. He tried to go one level deeper, and that had linebacker underneath. Should have taken what was there, taken the inside crosser.
2 tight ends, 2 wide receivers for Dak Prescott. Man coming in motion, 3rd and inches. They're going to hand it off to Leylon Alston right up the middle, who breaks the tackle, and he has the first down at the 47-yard line. Everything working for the Pittsburgh Steelers right now. Let's send it down to Z-Stars. We're under 40 seconds to go here in the first half. Star, what is the mood on the Kansas City sidelines right now as they're about to head into halftime, down 32, possibly more?
OSU, this game is over. These guys are completely demoralized, and it's looking like the Pittsburgh Steelers are about ready to advance to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, we still got a whole half to play. I think the Pittsburgh Steelers at this point looking to not have any major injuries going into the Super Bowl, looking to represent the AFC once again. 35-3 Pittsburgh on top and looking for more. 27 seconds to go here in the first half. It's going to be Dak Prescott under center, 3 wide receivers. He's going to hand this one off to Leylon Alston over the left side, and the Kansas City Chiefs able to bring him down in the backfield. One of the few good defensive plays, and Pittsburgh looks content to let this one maybe run out. We'll see what they do here on a 3rd and 6.
And yeah, the clock is still running. I'm a little shocked Pittsburgh's not going to try to get at least 3 more here on the clock, or excuse me, on the scoreboard before half. But we'll see how this goes.
Alston breaks a tackle, keeps the legs moving, breaks another tackle. He's able to get up to the 45-yard line. And it looks like Pittsburgh's going to take a timeout. They might be attempting a long field goal. This is a 62-yard field goal if they do end up going for it. But they're up 35-3. I don't know what they have. Yeah, watch the fake. Well, would that not be? Oh, would that not be the nail in the coffin if Pittsburgh pulls off a fake here? They are setting up the field goal team, but you just never know what Pittsburgh's going to do, as they're going to go into halftime with a huge lead. This is a 62-yard attempt for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Right from the midfield logo, the kick is up. It's online. It's no good. Well, it was close. It was close.
The first thing that didn't go Pittsburgh's way all night.
35-3 though. Pittsburgh on top. They are kicking it off to the Kansas City Chiefs, so the Chiefs will get the first crack on offense. Once again, thanks everybody for tuning in, folks. Remember, 8:30 Eastern Time, we'll have our NFC Championship game, and boy, I can only hope it's closer than this one. 8:30 Eastern Time, it's the Lions and the Cowboys looking to face off against what we assume at this point, barring some monumental collapse, will be the Pittsburgh Steelers. Kansas City coming out looking to pull off the miracle. 1st and 10, McIntyre dropping back to pass. He looks over to the left side, completes it. Still fighting forward for yards, though, is the tight end. I believe that is Jose. He gets down to the 34-yard line. 9 yards on the play. Let's send it down to Z-Star. Star coming out of halftime. Any change in the demeanor for the Kansas City Chiefs, or is this a team that looks completely out of it?
They look just completely defeated. It's really going to take a miracle for them to even come back in this game, period. So let's see. Maybe they'll make it close, but I highly doubt it.
Hand off to to Will Durant over the right side. He gets the first down. 35-3 Pittsburgh on top. Sonny, you predicted the Steelers to win this game, but I would assume you didn't think it was going to be this much of a blowout.
No, I actually predicted a relatively close game. Unfortunately, things fell down early when they gave up that big return, and it just never got going. The home field advantage here in Pittsburgh is one of the best in NBL, and I think it's rattling the Kansas City Chiefs.
Nice completion there on on second down over to the left side, get a first down to the 45-yard line. Sonny, you were part of the Week 17 game against these Pittsburgh Steelers. You gave up your team gave up a kick return for a touchdown on the opening kickoff. Give us a little insight as to what that does for the psyche of the team moving forward.
Well, what you have to do is you have to regroup. Obviously, in that game, we give up the big kick. We go down the field. We throw an interception in the end zone, and we're already down big. But what you have to do is you have to regroup, and you have to start making good decisions in the pocket with the ball. You can't turn the ball over. And you got to work down the field against Pittsburgh. You're not going to get a lot of deep shots, but you're going to get a lot of intermediate routes against them. And that's where you really have to hit, and you have to hit consistently to try to come back against the Steelers.
Boy, there's a name we haven't called yet. Chris Conley, first catch of the day. And he moves the Kansas City Chiefs near the red zone, looking to pull off a miracle. They need some quick touchdowns. There is plenty of time, but they're down 32. Toss play to Lawrence Ganther over the right side. He's got some nice blocking, but Sonny, we saw this yesterday from the Washington Redskins. If Ganther stays outside, I think he has enough room to get to the end zone, but he tries to cut it back inside. What is the thinking there as a running back just runs into a tackler?
Everybody loves the cutback. That's what it comes down to.
2nd and 1, pistol formation for Trey McIntyre. Play action pass. Set up the screen over the right side. It is complete. And it's going to get them a yard on the play. He was wide open, but good closeout by the Pittsburgh Steelers. They don't even get the first down as Kroll has his, they're going to count that as a rush since it was a backwards pass. And now a 3rd and inches for the Kansas City Chiefs. 2 tight ends, 1 wide receiver, I formation. Ganther at the top of that I, and he's going to get the ball here on 3rd and inches. I don't know if he got it. They're spotting it. Wow, they gave him the first down there. Maybe just a little consolation prize for the Kansas City Chiefs as Ganther gets the 6 inches necessary. It's going to bring up a first down.
Yeah, that one was close. It looked like he stayed parallel with the line rather than breaking it, but they're going to go ahead and give it. They haven't moved the chains. And at this point, if you're Pittsburgh, I'm not worried about challenging that. You've got a lead. Don't waste your time out.
I formation once again for the Kansas City Chiefs. Ganther at the top of that I. McIntyre, quick 3-step drop, rolling out to the left side. I think he's going to try to run for this one, and McIntyre takes a big hit after the 7-yard gain. And if you're the Kansas City Chiefs, you don't want to see your star quarterback taking hits like that. It's going to bring up a 2nd and 3.
Little surprising there. I think McIntyre was looking to run there. The slant was open underneath, and he decides to run with it instead.
2nd and 3. Shotgun formation. 3 wide receivers. 2 to the right, 1 to the left. It's going to be Ganther coming in motion. They're setting up the little swing pass to Lawrence Ganther, and he's going to get out. It's a fumble touchdown? What? Anyone? They're giving him the touchdown. It was not a fumble. They're saying he crossed the line. Kansas City gets a score. Sonny, that was one of the weirdest plays I've seen.
Yeah, kind of a weird play there. One ref on the field signals it's a fumble. Instead, they meet up and rule it's instead a touchdown. He has possession of the ball as he breaks the plane and it gets ripped out. Once these balls already cross the plane, correct call there. It is a touchdown for Kansas City and a much-needed one at that.
35-10, they cut it back to a 25-point lead. Let's send it down to Z-Star. Pittsburgh Steelers coming out of the half. Big lead right now. What was the message going out into coming out of the locker room at halftime as they go into the second half with a big lead?
First of all, I don't know if you could hear these boos, but these fans are not happy about that fumble call. But
even though that they're up, they're booing about this fumble call.
These fans are ruthless. They are not happy. But ultimately, the message was for Dak to keep playing his game, keep the foot on the gas, and put this thing out of reach.
Yeah, Pittsburgh knows how to keep the foot on the gas for sure. They don't want to give up this lead, even though they're up so much. They're up 25 at this point. I'm going to check with Sonny. Sonny, it is 25, correct?
That would be correct, sir.
Math is correct. Woo, got it on that one, folks. Pulling out the clutch math here on NBL Live. 2nd and 3 for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Got 2 wide receivers over to the left side, 2 tight ends, 1 on each side of the formation, and Leylon Alston in the backfield here on 2nd and 3. It's going to be a toss to Alston, cuts it back inside, has the first down, and he has more. He's at the 40, he gets down to the 36-yard line, and Leylon Alston proves why he was the former league MVP when he was with the New Orleans Saints, continuing to do it here in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, Marcus Peters with the touchdown-saving tackle there. Pittsburgh really finding a little bit more success on the ground than I thought they would. Alston's been a little light as far as the yardage goes over the last couple weeks. Nice to see him get the running game going, though. 1st and 10, it's another handoff to Alston right at the middle, and another big gap for him to run through. He gets up to the 30-yard line. That's another 7-yard gain. And, Sonny, you got to think, for the Kansas City Chiefs, you have to be expecting the run with Pittsburgh up so much, and they're coming down and dropping back into coverage. Yeah, a little surprised there. I'd like to see them maybe sell out, try to get their little run blitz action here on 2nd and 3rd.
2nd and 3. Dak Prescott takes the snap. He's going to hand off to Leylon Alston, who has another big hole on the left side, and he almost got past the middle linebacker. He's got another first down up to the 21-yard line. 95 yards on the day for Leylon Alston. What a game he is having here in Pittsburgh, as Pittsburgh's up 35-10, and they are keeping the foot on the gas, looking to put more points on the board.
Yeah, right now Kansas City needs a patented Sonny Weaver splash play right about now, but I'm not sure they're going to get one.
How many Sonny Weaver splash plays do you think they need right now?
Probably about 3.
Three splash plays. All right, 1st and 10. Hand off to Alston right up the middle. Alston, another big hole to the 15-yard line as he eclipses 100 yards on the day. And Sonny, you've played against this team, owner of the Cincinnati Bengals. How good is this Pittsburgh offensive line in comparison to some of the other offensive lines in the NBL?
They're good. They lack the star power of some of the lines, but they're just solid across the board. They do what they do well. They know how to flush guys out to give Prescott room to step up into the pocket and make the throw. We've seen it a couple times today. And really what they're going to do is they're not going to give up a lot of penalties. They're going to make you beat them by actually beating their players, not by them having to hold you.
3rd and 2 after another 2-yard gain by Leylon Alston. 104 yards on the day for the running back. And while we have a second here in the 3rd quarter, I want to give a big shout out to our graphics sponsor, web3ks.com. They do that overlay you see here on NBL Live and a ton of other graphics for us. So if you or anyone you know needs graphics done for an affordable price, head over to web3ks.com, the leaders in affordable graphic design. The other Alston coming into the game, that's Will Alston taking the carry. He's going to lose a yard on the play. It's going to bring up a 4th and 3. And Pittsburgh looking to extend their lead. They're up 25 now, 35-10. Ball is down, kick is up. It's right down the middle, and Pittsburgh extends their lead, 38-10.
Math, go. What's the difference?
28. It's 28.
Boom. Got it.
I feel like I don't know if I like this back in school sort. I mess up one math problem. I've been good on math all year, Sonny. I mess up one, and suddenly I got to go back to school.
Hey, we're in the championship game. You can't be letting people down with bad math.
Season 25, and the math has been turned up another level here on NBL Live. 38-10, Pittsburgh on top. Kansas City, they need to score and score quickly and get some turnovers and maybe have some angels in the outfield. I don't know. 1st and 10, and wow, big hit there on Trey McIntyre. Ball comes out. Lucky it wasn't called a fumble. It's an incomplete pass. Going to bring up a 2nd and 10.
McIntyre gets dusted there on the cornerback blitz.
Pittsburgh still coming after the Kansas City Chiefs. They're not going to let off one bit, as they know how weird things can happen. As that throw, wow, dangerous one to Chris Conley. It was well covered, but Conley somehow comes up with the catch. It's going to bring out about 3rd and 4 for the Kansas City Chiefs. Sonny, you got to think at this point, it's 4-down territory for the rest of the game.
Yeah, I would say so. Dangerous throw there on Patrick Peterson. Peterson getting up there in age a little bit, but still formidable enough to jump that route. Surprised he didn't take that one back.
We're finally hitting the 4th quarter. Pittsburgh rolling now, 38-10. Kansas City with the ball. Shotgun formation for McIntyre. He's going to hand it off to Lawrence Ganther right up the middle, and he's got a nice hole. He's going to get 9 yards on that play. Ganther, 9 carries, 61 yards, and that fumble touchdown. Yeah, they are going to give him a touchdown on that one. 1st and 10 for McIntyre in the shotgun. Play action pass, and he is looking deep down the field. Has a man right over the middle. It is complete down to the 28-yard line. And Sonny, it may very well be, and by may, I mean it probably is too little too late, but McIntyre looks a lot more composed here in the second half.
He's looking better, but I think he can play a little looser until he does that.
It's intercepted at the goal line by the Pittsburgh Steelers. It's going to be returned. Artie Burns' second pick on the day. Trey McIntyre, 4 interceptions. And the Pittsburgh Steelers, if they weren't already primed to win this game, that one definitely seals it. It puts another seal on top of that one. They seal it once more. 38-10 Pittsburgh on top. Kansas City mercifully looking for the triple zeros.
Yeah, they're looking for that clock to just kind of flip over a little bit quicker. Artie Burns, Martavius Bryant, I think they were listening to me in the locker room, obviously. I may have disrespected Artie Burns a little bit, saying he wasn't as good early on in his career. He was showing me he's making up for it there, and man, he has looked good this game. I formation for the Pittsburgh Steelers. It's going to be Dak Prescott passing in here on 1st and 10, and he throws an interception. I don't know who that one was on. Martavius Bryant just looked like he wasn't ready for that pass. Kansas City actually gets a turnover. Jalen Ramsey with the interception. Sonny, what did you see on that play? Is that one just timing between the quarterback and the wide receiver? Yeah, I think Dak threw that a little bit earlier. Bryant was breaking, but he wasn't quite ready for it. He turned around, the ball was already past him, and it was in the cornerback's hand, and it gives Kansas City just the ever so slightest chance for a comeback here.
I'm not saying there's light at the end of the tunnel. There's a glimmer, though, as Kansas City tried to pull a play out of the Pittsburgh playbook as they run that little jet sweep to Chris Conley in Pittsburgh. Well, turns out they know how to stop it. It's a 3-yard loss, going to bring up a 2nd and 13.
Yep, and right now, as the clock keeps ticking, you got to think bookend Super Bowls possibly for Pittsburgh. Maybe.
You never know. Ganther going in motion, 2nd and 13. McIntyre dropping back to pass, dropping back, tosses it out of bounds. He dropped back about 20 yards on that play and ends up chucking it out of bounds. Let's set it down to the third member of our crew, Z-Star. Star, I'm just wondering, there's no question here. What are you doing to keep yourself entertained on the sidelines? You got a deck of cards? You playing some solitaire on your phone?
I'm just enjoying this crowd, man. These guys are partying here, and they can't wait to see their team in the Super Bowl.
Now, Kansas City gets a touchdown off of that turnover, and as the kick is up, and it is good, it's 38-17, Sonny. It's a 21-point game. Do we have a game here on NBL Live?
Maybe. We'll see what happens on this onside kick.
Pittsburgh using a timeout, 4:44 to go. Kansas City definitely needing this onside kick. That interception by Dak Prescott gave them just a little bit of light. They're not flatlining quite yet as they line up for this extra point, or excuse me, this onside kick, and it's recovered by the Pittsburgh Steelers. Sonny Weaver, question back to you. Do we have a game here on NBL Live?
That's going to be a negative Ghost Rider. I think at this point, Pittsburgh should be able to control the ball enough. You've got Alston. You've got a good attack of underneath options, Hayden, Dyer. You're going to be able to move the ball here. 4:44 left, and a lot of points to overcome here.
Sonny, did that digital clock throw you off for a second?
Well, I wanted to make sure I got enough 4s in there. There's a lot of 4s on the screen.
Making fun of my math and you can't read a digital clock? Come on, Sonny.
Wait. Fourth quarter, 4 minutes, 44 seconds on the 42. There's a lot of 4s across the
and Alston puts it on the ground, but Alston, I think he pounced on his own fumble there. He's going to get 9 yards on the play. Pittsburgh playing a little sloppy here in the fourth quarter. You got to think, if you're the coaching staff, you know that this Kansas City Chiefs team, while they haven't been good today, are good enough to come back in this game if you give them enough chances.
Yeah, maybe. They've been one of those teams that have been hot and cold. Now, Austin fumbling, I did mention before, he is prone to doing that. And I, at this point, may consider going with somebody that's a little more sure-handed.
And on that play, the Kansas City Chiefs got in the backfield and in a hurry, and lucky that one wasn't a fumble as they messed up the exchange between Prescott and the fullback. Luckily, Prescott just pulled that one back and was able to go down to the ground with the ball in tow. Now a 3rd and 3 for the Pittsburgh Steelers. So we have play-action pass. Prescott's going to be passing it, looking, throws it over to the right side. He completes it to, I believe that is Shable with the catch at the 14-yard line. Prescott still doing what he does best, throwing dimes as he's able to get it down to the 14-yard line. Shable with the catch and another first down for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
And good job there by the tight end. He could have easily ran out of bounds there after that big catch. Instead, he pulls back in bounds, gets down, makes sure he keeps that clock running, and keeps taking time off the clock.
First and 10, it's going to be handoff to Leylon Alston, who gets stopped in the backfield, 2-yard loss, and we want to remind everybody, 8:30 Eastern time tonight, that's right, folks, about a half hour, we're going to be going on with the NFC Championship game, doubleheader action here on MBL Live. This is broadcast number 118, and then broadcast number 119 will go off the air for just a little bit to set up everything, but we'll be back on 8:30 Eastern time. Don't miss it. Hit that subscribe button so you know when we're going live, especially for that Super Bowl that'll be coming up Saturday night. Time will be announced on our Twitter at Bomber League. Handoff on 2nd and 12 to the other Alston, or excuse me, that was Dixon coming into the game. He gets his first carry of the day. It's going to be a loss of 1. It's going to bring up a 3rd and 13 in Pittsburgh, just milking this clock as we're down under 3 minutes to go.
Yeah, and I wonder if the coaching staff was thinking the same thing I was, bringing more of a sure-handed running back in Dixon, get Alston out so you don't fumble the ball. Don't let anything crazy happen at this point.
3rd and 13, Dak Prescott passing here on 3rd down, setting up a little wide receiver screen, and it's an incomplete pass to Martavis Bryant. Pittsburgh's going to be forced to kick the field goal on this one, and I say forced. They're up 21 at this point, looking to extend it to 24. The kick is up, and it is good right down the middle. Pittsburgh extends their lead 41-17. And I guess, Sonny, we got a lot of time to talk about it. 2:43 to go. Assuming nothing disastrous happens, this Kansas City Chiefs team, let's look at their season, looking to repeat as going into the Super Bowl, looking to repeat as AFC champions. It's not going to happen today. And I think most people would agree that this Kansas City Chiefs team maybe took a step back this year, but Lawrence Ganther at running back may have been the best thing that this Kansas City Chiefs offense could have found.
Yeah, that's true. I tell you what, the Kansas City Chiefs offense at this point has just not been their day. Not their day here on NBL Live.
Ganther, a lot of room on the right side. He's going down the sidelines. I don't know if anybody's going to catch him. Lawrence Ganther padding the stats here. He's going to go into the end zone for the touchdown. Lawrence Ganther looking to make a statement here in the AFC Championship game. He's been bottled up for the most of the game. This Kansas City Chiefs team having to go to the passing attack, but he takes that one 75 yards for the score. Kansas City going for 2 here, looking to cut this to a 16-point game. And Pittsburgh's just sort of let Kansas City hang around a little bit. Prescott threw an interception. He's looking for the fade route to the left side, and that one well covered. It's going to fall to the ground incomplete, but Lawrence Ganther, nice run there, and a nice job, even if this team isn't going to move on. He proved why he's one of the best backs in the NBL.
Yeah, Ganther making the most of his carries here on NBL Live.
Hey,
and
they get it.
Looks like they recovered the kick.
Unbelievably, Kansas City still in this game ostensibly as they get an onside kick down 18. Kansas City's still fighting, and you got to give credit to the coaching staff of the Kansas City Chiefs not letting them give up in this game. They're still down 18 as false start there won't help them. They're going to say that the defense moved first, and so it's going to bring up a 1st and 5. Let's send it down to Star. Star, you're on the Chiefs sidelines. Any glimmer of light there? This Chiefs team looks a little fired up right now.
There is time. They can come back in this game, but as I said earlier, it's going to take nothing short of a miracle here. They need a quick score if they want any chance.
Quick pass underneath for Trey McIntyre. He completes it to Chris Conley, who fights forward to the 34-yard line. Sonny, are you impressed at all by what this Kansas City Chiefs done here in the 3rd and 4th quarter? They have not given up, even though they've been down big.
Well, you've got Pitt playing kind of a prevent defense, and their offense kind of is shutting it down. So I think they're letting them back in this game, but it's time to stiffen up.
We have yet to reach the 2-minute warning. Injury on the play. I don't know which team it's from, but we'll see.
That looks like Artie Burns.
Is it? Oh, man, and that could be a big loss. Biggest thing for the Pittsburgh Steelers. This is a passing defense that has struggled to stop the pass. They're the worst passing defense in the NBL, and if they lose Artie Burns, that pass defense only gets worse. We'll get word from Z-Star when he finds out what's going on with Artie Burns. 2:07 to go here in the game. Kansas City still fighting, 18-point game. McIntyre dropping back to pass. He's looking to the back of the end zone, and wow, what a catch in the back of the end zone. It's going to go down as incomplete, but this Pittsburgh passing attack, they forced a couple turnovers, and that one there could have easily been one. Very impressive, even though it doesn't count.
Yeah, great catch there. Just got to keep it in bounds.
Bring him in on offense, Pittsburgh. I know you have already a ton of weapons, but with catch like that, maybe he needs to come on the offense side of the ball. Deep pass over the middle. It is complete as we've hit the 2-minute warning. Excuse me, let's send it down to Z-Star. It was actually the cornerback Russell going down on the play. What are you hearing?
I'm hearing it's a broken collarbone, which seems to be the trending injury this season in the NBL.
Lots of collarbones.
And that's going to do it for him and his season, which could be a big blow as they look to be advancing into the Super Bowl.
Sonny, what kind of loss is that losing Russell for what could be for the Super Bowl with that broken collarbone?
Well, that's a big deal. Russell is the man that had the pick six earlier in this game, had the near second interception on the ensuing drive. A defense that is lacking depth at the cornerback position behind Russell. The slot wide receiver could get exposed if they move on here.
Yeah, that could be a big loss as they're going to go into the Super Bowl. Play action pass for Trey McIntyre. Rush comes up the middle. How, Sonny? Let me ask you, I know you're not a referee. How is that not intentional grounding? He was well wrapped up and then sort of spikes the ball as he's going down to the ground.
If the throwing motion begins before he's going to the ground, then it cannot be intentional grounding.
Did it start before he went to the ground?
You know, you give him the benefit of the doubt in those cases.
It's been a rough game.
Yeah, at this point, you're not trying to take anything away.
Third and goal shotgun formation for Trey McIntyre. Ganther in the backfield as well as Durant. Three wide receivers. Durant going in motion here on third and goal. It looks like they're trying to set up a screen over to the right side of Ganther. Well covered. Now Kansas City has a fourth and goal opportunity. Minute and a half to go. Got to admire the pluck from this Kansas City Chiefs team as they're going to kick the field goal and get this to a two-score game. Try to recover another onside kick. This one goes through the uprights, cutting it to a 41-26 game. Pittsburgh still on top. Sonny, is there any concern, before I ask you this, let's watch this onside kick because we've already seen one get recovered by the Kansas City Chiefs. The hands team definitely have a little more stickum on their gloves. As this one is touched early by the Chiefs. That's going to go over to the Pittsburgh Steelers. That's probably going to do it. But is there any concern, Sonny, from the Pittsburgh Steelers considering really the Kansas City Chiefs outplayed them in the second half?
No, not really. They shut it down at halftime. They, in fact, shut it down going into halftime. You saw them with no urgency to put points up on the board there before the half, and instead they settle for a long kick. I think Pittsburgh and the coaching staff is okay with where they're at. Obviously, the injury to Russell, not something they like to see, but they'll have a week or two to here to figure out what they're going to do at that slot cornerback position.
First and 10. It's going to be a handoff right up the middle, shaking off tacklers. He's going to lose 2 yards in that one. That's Kenneth Dixon. Kansas City staying in this game. They're going to call a timeout, a minute 22 to go. But it's pretty much a foregone conclusion at this point, barring some sort of crazy turn of events. Sonny, if you're on the NFC side, what are you game planning for against this Pittsburgh Steelers team that has been so tough all year?
Well, I'm not game planning anything yet because you're still yet to play your championship game. But hypothetically speaking, really what you're looking to do is get pressure on Dak Prescott. It's something you haven't seen this game. Historically, when Pittsburgh does lose, it's because Prescott's uncomfortable in the pocket. Interior pressure is the best kind of pressure on a quarterback because they can't step up into the pocket, let your outside rushers get there. So if you're in the NFC right now, you're hoping you have some sort of interior pass rusher that can make Dak Prescott's life a little bit more difficult.
And you're really hoping for a win tonight in the NFC Championship game. Again, folks, doubleheader action. It'll be kicking off at 8:30 Eastern time. We'll do our pregame show. And also continue to announce that NBL top 25 players of the cycle will go into the top 10, as it's going to be a first down for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Alston finding the first down, and he just goes down, and that's pretty much going to seal it. The clock is going to start running out. Kansas City does have one timeout. We'll see if they use it, but what a statement, Sonny Weaver, by the Pittsburgh Steelers today.
Pittsburgh Steelers coming out, avenging a big loss from early in the season. Kansas City kind of rolling over Pittsburgh, but that's in Kansas City. We end up here in Pittsburgh for the AFC Championship game, showing how important home field advantage is as they come out and really dominate this game.
Victory formation for the Steelers. Let's throw it down to Z-Star one more time. Star, what is the mood on the sidelines of the Pittsburgh Steelers right now?
The party begins, baby, and you know what? I'm gonna go to the bars and celebrate with these.
They're letting you into the. Are they letting you really celebrate with them? Come on.
Absolutely, I'm partying with them no matter what. They can't tell me otherwise. And here comes the Gatorade.
They can't tell you otherwise. The Z-Star, new member of the Pittsburgh Steelers, he may be starting at cornerback considering Russell went down in this game. We'll see how that affects this already porous pass defense as they go into the Super Bowl. 2nd and 11, waiting for this clock to run out. 5 seconds. And folks, the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to represent the AFC in the Super Bowl. They're looking for their third ring of this cycle. 41-26, your final score. The Pittsburgh Steelers. What a statement here at home, Sonny Weaver. Final thoughts on this game. It looked like a blowout early. Kansas City, I don't know if they made it interesting, but they definitely didn't quit. But the Pittsburgh Steelers, just too much black and gold today, and they're going to be looking for yet another NBL Super Bowl title.
Yeah, good team win today. We saw scores in all phases of the game, which as a coach, that's the touchdown bingo we saw today. Impressive win there for the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think they're going to go into the Super Bowl as the favorite no matter who they face.
And now it's time to make our selection for the NBL Live Player of the Game here for broadcast number 118. And Sonny, there were a lot of players that played well on the side of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Artie Burns had 2 interceptions, but the guy I keep going to is the guy that we've talked about in the pregame show, Martavius Bryant. 2 touchdowns on the day, 1 on the ground, 1 through the air. And really, it was his touchdowns that helped the Pittsburgh Steelers break away.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think it could go either way, but let's go with one of the Hall of Famers. Let's go with Martavius Bryant, a guy who showed that he can catch the ball, run the ball, basically line up anywhere on the field, and is kind of an unstoppable force here in NBL.
Yeah, Martavius Bryant is going to be awarded NBL Live Player of the Game here for broadcast number 118. And if you want to check out all of the archives for all of our Player of the Game selections, head over to our website, 365.maddenbomberleague.com, under the NBL Live tab. You can check out all of our NBL Live Player of the Games all the way back to broadcast number 1. And while you're there, under the Join tab, you can sign up for our EA Access Tournament. Starts August 17th. First prize is a signed Antonio Brown jersey. Spots are filling up fast, folks. It's free to enter. So go ahead and apply on the website, 365.maddenbomberleague.com. Sonny, we're going to go off the air for about 15 minutes right now, and we got the NFC Championship game coming up. What are you looking forward to in that game?
I'm looking forward to a good game. I think we're going to get to see a very explosive attack from the Detroit Lions and a very controlled attack from the Dallas Cowboys. I think Ezekiel Elliott and the Lions' ability to stop the running game is going to be the key to that game.
So again, folks, stick with us. Hit that subscribe button so you know when we're back live. We'll be going on at 8:30 Eastern time for the pregame show. We got the NFC Championship game between the Dallas Cowboys and the Detroit Lions. Should be a great matchup here on NBL Live, and we'd like to thank everybody for tuning in here for part 1 of our doubleheader. For the 3rd member of our crew, Z-Star, and my co-host, Sonny Weaver, I'm OSU. Your final score, once again, the Pittsburgh Steelers. Big win, 41-26 over the Kansas City Chiefs. We'll see you in about 15 minutes for the NFC Championship game right here on NBL Live.